what is it that we can do to make our diets better? I mean, are there some some pointers you would like to share with us? Some opening words of wisdom, and then we'll carry the discussion forward from there.
Yeah, very good evening to all of you. So to begin with, I think mindful eating is a very good topic for today, and it is like involving all your senses and connecting it to the food which we eat. So it starts right from the shopping list which we make at home before planning the meals and all those things. So like when you go for shopping, just think what things to avoid, and when you just pick up the things, what things has preservatives, as are already the other speakers have already told, the foods which are easy to eat, they are packed with preservatives, and in the long run, if you eat those type of dense, calorie dense, rich packed foods, it is very harmful for your health. So once you get those foods home, and you think that anyway I have bought it, so let me use it. So right at that point of time where you're making your shopping list, try to avoid those things before going to shop itself. So let us start from there, and try to focus more on the readily available fresh fruits and fresh vegetables. And when you pack those things and get at home, and when those things sit in your fridge, that point of time also you think that, okay, I have invested so much of money, let me use it. So from there are the processing of the foods and all those starts. So you think once you see those vegetables and those fruits and those fresh things which are there in the fridge, you try to plan accordingly. So I mean to say that packed foods, biscuits, rusk and all those things, most of my patients, they tell that how they start the day, especially in this pandemic times, they start with chai and rusk, chai and biscuits and all. So like Indian diets, we start our day with lot of carbs, rusk and maida, breads and all those things. So one of our speakers already said that high amount of carbs make us feel sluggish, and we don't have drop in our energy levels and all those things.
So Ms. Fatima, what is it that we can do to, I mean, of course we talk about mind control, mindfulness and all that, but how does one stop or prevent the temptation of grabbing the most easily available food that is packed food?
Yeah, that is what I was telling, that fruits are always easily available, nuts are easily available, you can easily pack it, you can easily eat it, and of course the infused water which I have been drinking. So Nimbu Pani is all there in your corporates, and teas are there, green teas are there, lemon teas are there. Keep yourself hydrated, and try to consume more of fresh fruits which are already there in the cafeteria. And we have two sections in the cafeteria, one towards all the processed foods, and others other section is all with the healthy stuff. So it is, you need to decide how to go about it.
What are some of the important developments according to you which have reduced the burden of fat, what is known as high fat, salt and sugar in Indian or European cuisines as they're served in restaurants?
So a very valid question, and I think as a chef, I have to put up my hand and take responsibility, because there's so many people who've been eating out of my restaurants, not just in one city but in multiple cities. I have also worked with the slow food movement, the Chef's Manifesto, the Future 50, and various other similar, including the Zero Hunger and all of those kind of movements. So I personally feel very responsible for what I eat. And I'm very clear in my head that if it is something that I can't eat or can't give it to my own family, I will not give it to my guests. So I have always stayed away from saturated fat. Never. We have also taken an oath, you part of that we have taken an oath that will not use saturated fat. I've also consciously avoided salt, which is the free-flowing iodized salt. So I've always used salt from Gujarat, or salt from the Kala Namac that comes from Pakistan, or the pink salt that comes from the Himalayas, or the Kuni West, the salt that comes from Odisha and these other, which are also cheaper source of salt and are easily available. You just have to crush them down. So I've always avoided regular iodized free-flowing salt.
So what you're saying is that you have done away with packet salt in your kitchen.
Yes.
And that is something which people should do.
I personally feel it is going to bring us back to at least natural source of salts, not some chemical added salt, because iodized salt is something that is initially was brought in primarily for people with goiter and iodine deficiency. Of course, we have doctors and dietitians who can guide us on that better. But in my understanding, I went back to a natural product rather than a processed. So I've also taken conscious decision of not using anything from a bag, not using anything that has a great label, and definitely going away from products which has a lot of marketing behind it. Because every time there was marketing, I believe the cost went to marketing the product and not so much on the product. So one, I've taken a conscious decision in all my restaurants of using natural salt, and I've given the sources. I've gone to using natural sugar. I've completely gone away from white crystallized sulfur sugars.
So when you talk about natural sugar, what do you mean by it?
So I've gone to Bura Shakkar, jaggery, palm jaggery. The Nolan Good and all we've substituted in all our cakes and desserts. Sugarcane jaggery and dates. Also coconut sugar. So I've gone away from white sugar. No white sugar has been used in any of my desserts right now in most of my restaurants or wherever I am going. I have gone away from white flour. We are using 100% wholemeal flour, or we are using atta, and also gone back to things like your ragi flour, your jawar flour, your bajra flour, kuttu flour, buckwheat flour, all the other kinds of atta, apart from the regular milled white bleached flour. So bleached flour again is gone up. I've also taken away white rice from my menu, so I've gone back into doing all the shama chawals, which is all our millets, which is all our brown rice, black rice, red rice, boiled rice, all kinds of rice that we have across the country. That different, close to 4,000 odd species of different rice that we can eat from. So gone away from the white long grain bleached basmati or the genetically modified long grain rices. If there is a particular demand or somebody wants it, I would not say no. But personally, I've gone away from using more local, small, batch rice. Also, the cooperative milk, I am trying to use it as less as possible, which is most of our milk is coming to cooperative mixed milk. So I'm trying to use as less as possible, because milk is a source which is very difficult for me to actually tap into. I'm trying in certain places, but in most cases I've not been able to succeed. So I have avoided using milk. So I've taken milk away from my recipes. Wherever milk was required, I've substituted them with coconut milk or soy, cream and stuff like that. So even if there is a sauce which requires white milk or cream or dairy cream, I've taken them off and moved them to a coconut milk. I've moved them to a non-dairy cream or a soy cream. I've also used things like oats milk and stuff to give that creaminess. To make, of course, you do not substitute a 100% dairy product, but bring in that creaminess. Also, over the years, or maybe with COVID or whatever, I personally have become very highly intolerant to this kind of a cooperative-based milk system, and also the white flour. Also, the personal eating habit I've gone away. So these 5 things that I've done, and I've told you about hydrogen and fat, I've completely taken it off my list. And whatever the ingredients that is left for me, which is largely now local and regional and seasonal produce, is what my menus are today all about.
Dr. Fatima, it comes to there's always the big if, the chef just talked about natural salt, but we also hear that iodized salt is something which is needed, which is important, and there is so much of even some famous chefs are backing brands of iodized salts, So we are getting very mixed signals out of this conversation. So as a nutritionist, what is your take on salt? And then we'll of course come to sugar.
Yeah. The natural salts which our chef was telling, they have all the minerals intact. Once the processing starts, then all the natural minerals are lost. But the thing is, they add iodine, which is a little bit lacking in the natural salts. So like in my point of view, you can use, mix both of the salts, sometimes the iodized salt and sometimes both with the natural salt.
Yeah. So, how much iodine do we need really? Do we need to have...
A very minimum amount of iodine is required. And just a lotus stems may iodine is there, fish may iodine is there. So natural products also, we could meet up the iodine requirement. But for thyroid patients, hypothyroidism and all, where the goitrogens block iodine absorption, there we need to be a little bit careful about it. Otherwise, we can meet up with natural.
What is your take on sugar? Because now there is also a lot of discussion on jaggery, and whether it's really that good an alternative or not.
White sugar is white poison. Yeah. So just think like how frequently you're using and how much you're using, because there are no nutrients intact. And of course, when unprocessed forms may like jaggery, coconut palm jaggery, and all these things, they have few minerals intact, iron hai, calcium hai, or thoda fiber hai. All these things you will get it in the package. But when you get refined sugars, you won't get anything except for empty calories. And you imagine our status in this pandemic times, we are just drinking lots of chais and coffees with sugar, and we are just sitting doing nothing. So where are we going to invest this energy? That is the reason, most of the patients have come back with so much of weight gain over the last 1 year, 1.5 years.
So, what is your advice to people who have gained weight during the COVID times, in the past 1 year, what is your, because, people have gained serious weight, the 12 to 15 kilos is just what we heard, it's average, what is your advice, starting advice? Because also we hear of so many diets. My private joke is there are as many nutritionists as there are theories about diets. So tell me, what are some common sense things that people can do to start losing weight, apart from, of course, a regular exercise routine?
Exercise and diet both goes hand in hand. So before I talk to my patients with diet, I start with exercising regime. So I make them feel the importance of how the impact of exercises on their weight and how it helps. Then I move to the diet, and I don't tell them don't eat this, don't eat this. I just counsel them the impact, like just I told you what is the impact of sugar on your body, and what is the impact of the bakery stuff, what is the impact of the refined carbs. So I just make them understand these things clearly, so that when I tell them, okay, these things have these impact on your body, so automatically it is like a training of the mind, tuning their mind to stop the refined things. So just making them understand the harmful effects on their body. So everything starts with obesity. Each and every disease, the main foundation is obesity. So when you take control of your weight, then most of the diseases, diabetes, hypertension, as Ms. Nazin was telling, once you lose the weight, you can drop the mercury levels down. So that is how it works. So make them understand the benefits of eating the healthy things, and the Indian mentality may be fill our plate with the carbs, the white rice and the roti and all those things. So portion size control is very important. I make them understand the portion sizes of it. We can have white rice couple of times, but the quantity matters. So I make them understand these things. I give them clarity of the importance of carbs, the proteins and the fats, and it should be a balanced diet.
Also, Mr. Suresh, I think the answer, like as a speaker and as a transformation coach throughout, very pertinent points there by Chef Sabyasachi and Ms. Zeenat here. Your question is very, very important, Mr. Suresh. Why people fall prey to all this is because at the same time, like she said, repetition to your mind, training your mind, telling your mind like an affirmation, like Dr. Bhavna said right now. Tell your mind in the morning or at night before sleeping that white sugar is poison for my body. So, why I was asked at the beginning of the session, Mr. Suresh, in fact, I wanted to address to you and Chef Sabya and Ms. Zeenat, all three, regarding the corporate menus these days. We still see the cookies on the table. We still see the coffee vending machines. We still see, we know, we have all the knowledge and we gain knowledge from professionals like you all. But yet, your messages to the corporate structure, if you could answer that for the audience, Mr. Suresh, what are the recommendations? What is the transformation required on the corporate today, so that people don't die at the age of 65 and 70 because of cancer? And why is this happening? So if Mr. Suresh, over to you.
Yeah, that's right. That's a very important point. And Sabi, will you start and then we'll ask Ms. Zeenat about it.
Yeah.
So as you know, I work with all the possible movements that are trying to save us, save Mother Nature and save the world. eat right, eat right to protein, eat zero hunger. I also work with this movement called My Thali. And our main slogan is portion is connected to portion. So if you're eating in the right portion, you'll get the right portion, and you don't need to eat more than that. And beautifully,
that's all right. But like for instance, what we were just told about typically if you go to a corporate meeting,
right.
you're served a plate of cookies, and the coffee keeps coming in, tea keeps coming in, and of course we're quite happy putting sugar free or something, yeah. And then there goes the diet out of the window, the healthiness out of the window. So you may have manifestos and all, and by the way, you have a chef's manifesto, but chefs themselves are promoting unhealthy products. You know that. I mean, I don't want to get into the details, Okay, they're promoting all sorts of products, I won't, discuss at length.
How Sir, I personally feel that convenience takes over. Availability and convenience. There are two things. Why was I telling you about portion to portion? It's because we're working with Mahindra and Mahindra. And there are about 50 or 1,000 employees. We're trying to tell them what to eat, trying to teach them how to eat, trying to tell them that go and tell your wife what to pack for your tiffin and things like that. So these large corporates are the big, like the big minds of this country. That's the way they are. And we'll have to go at the bottom of it and tell their wives or home, whoever starts the kitchen or starts the day.
No, that's okay. But what about the corporate kitchen themselves? Is at Mahindra, for instance, do they take into account any of what Dr. Zeenat just told us? Do they follow any of the rules?
There is
do they use natural salt, for instance? Do they use good shakkar, for instance?
So currently I'm working with Max Healthcare and the hospital food and patient's food and everything. So whenever I am personally connected, so it's a small start, sir, is all I can tell you. But it is eventually a lot of people I'm seeing and noticing are taking note of it. You've been the front line and you've been leading this movement for the longest time. There's a lot of people, a lot of youngsters who are taking note of it.
A lot of corporates, since our talk is about the corporates today, on weekends, there's something called relaxation. In fact, Chef Sabyasachi and Ms. Zeenat, the question goes to you both. Then Friday happened and Friday night, and when you go back, so on Saturday, Sunday, your mind tells you it's time for relaxation. Now, in today's times in wellness, it is equal to Netflix, it is equal to Prime, it is equal to sitting on your television set for 6 hours without your family so that you can just watch something and have a bucket of wafers in front of you. So then that goes inside your stomach. So, binge eating, how do you avoid? What is your message to the corporates who are watching you today?
So, what I have experienced all these years and what happens at home also, I request all of you all, the shopping list which we make, to avoid those things. And what things are, out of sight, out of mind. So you plan in such a way, okay, this is the weekend, I need to hit a gym for a longer time, and then planning is required. And then I need to have, okay, you can have sizzlers, you can have grilled, those non-veg kahai, chicken, you can do a barbecue at home itself with your friends and all. So that is also, a way of entertaining yourself or relaxation and all those things, instead of just hogging on those packed beverages and processed foods and all. So grills, tandoori kebab and the chickens and all are easily can be done at home and can be enjoyed by the entire family and the friends as well. So that is how.
Okay, so what you're suggesting is that just stay away, make your shopping list intelligently, and mindfully, So, Chef Sabi, any last thoughts on this very important question?
I completely agree, sir. I think we have to be mindful. There is no way that anybody can come and tell us we're all grown-ups and we all decide for ourselves. We have to be mindful about what we are putting in our body, because as much as we understood post-COVID that oxygen is important, for all these years we should have also understood that what we put in our body is also important to our mouth. So we have to be very careful about what we're putting in our mouth, and that's the only way for us. Watch, judge, check, question. If they're in doubt, always check, because all the personal information is available on net. Look at the back of every bag that you ever buy. If you read the contents, you never eat them. So hence, a lot of companies also have stopped writing all the banned fat and everything now, which is mandatory in the EU and US. Slowly, India is also becoming stringent. FSSAI, has put a lot of regulations. So we just have to be very careful and read the behind of every bag that we ever buy. Eat anything or put anything into our shelf or our grocery list or in our pantry.